Hello there, horse chestnuts. I hope that we are well. We're now going to look at the final part of Kensuke's kingdom. So let's get on and read, and then you'll find out what happened to Michael and Kensuke. The binoculars made for the top of the hill. A sail, two sails, two white sails. I bounded down the hillside, back into the cave, and pulled out a lighted stick from the fire. By the time I reached the beacon, Kensuke was already there. He took the binoculars from me and looked for himself. "Can I light it?" I asked. "Can I?" "All right, Mickerson," he said. "All right." I thrust the lighted stick deep into the beacon, in amongst the dry leaves and twigs at its core. It lit almost instantly, and very soon flames were roaring up into the wood, licking out at us as the wind took them. We backed away at the sudden heat of it. I was disappointed there were so many flames. I wanted smoke, not flames. I wanted towering clouds of smoke. "Do not worry, Mickerson," Kensuke said. "They see this for sure, you see." We took turns with the binoculars. Still the yacht had not turned. They had not seen it. The smoke was beginning to billow up into the sky. Desperately I threw more and more wood onto the fire, until it was a roaring inferno of flame and dense smoke. I had thrown on almost the very last of the wood we had collected, when Kensuke said suddenly, "Mickerson, it is coming. I think the boat is coming." He handed me the binoculars. The yacht was turning. It was very definitely turning, but I couldn't make out whether it was towards us or away from us. "I don't know," I said. "I am not sure." He took the binoculars off me. "I tell you, Mickerson, it come this way. They see us, I am very sure. It come to our island." Moments later, as a wind filled the sails, I knew he was right. We hugged each other there on the hilltop beside the blazing beacon. I leapt up and down like a wild thing, and Stella went mad with me. Every time I looked through the binoculars now, the yacht was coming in closer. "She's a big yacht," I said. "I can't see her flag." "Dark blue hull like the Peggy Sue." Only then, as I said it out loud, did I begin to hope that it could possibly be her. Gradually hope turned to belief, and belief to certainty. I saw a blue cap, my mother's cap. It was them! It was them! "Kensuke!" I cried, still looking through the binoculars. "Kensuke, it's the Peggy Sue." "It is! They've come back for me! They've come back!" But Kensuke did not reply. When I looked round, I discovered he was not there. I found him sitting at the mouth of the cave house, with my football in his lap. He looked at me, and I knew already, from the look in his eye, what he was going to tell me. He stood up, put his hands on my shoulders, and looked me deep in the eyes. "You listen to me very good now, Mickerson," he said. "I am too old for that new world you tell me about. It is very exciting world, but it is not my world. My world was Japan, long time ago, and now my world is here. I think about it for a long time. If Kimmy is alive, if Mickey are alive, then they think I am dead long time ago. I would be like ghost coming home. I am not same person. They not same either. And besides, I have family here, orangutan family. Maybe killer men come back. Who look after them then? No, I stay on my island. This is my place. This Kensuke's kingdom. Emperor must stay in his kingdom. Look after his people. Emperor does not run away. Not honourable thing to do." I could see there was no point in pleading or arguing or protesting. He put his forehead against mine and let me cry. "You go now," he went on, "but before you go, you promise 3 things. First, you paint every day of your life, so one day you'll be like great artist like Hokusai. Second, you think of me sometimes, often maybe, when you are home in England. When you look at full moon, you think of me, and I do same for you. That way we never forget each other. Last thing you promise, and very important for me, very important, you say nothing of this, nothing of me. You come here alone. You alone here in this place, you understand? I not here. After 10 years, you say what you like. All that left of me then is bones. It not matter any more then. I want no one coming looking for me. I stay here. I live life in peace. No people. People come no peace. You understand? You keep secret for me, Mika. You promise? I promise, I said. He smiled and gave me my football. You take football. You're very good at football, but you very much better painter. You go now. And with his arm round my shoulder, he took me outside. You go, he said. I walked away, only a little way, and turned round. He was still standing at the mouth of the cave. You go now, please. And he bowed to me. I bowed back. Sayonara, Mickerson, he said. It has been honour to know you, great honour of my life. I hadn't the voice to reply. Blinded with tears, I ran off down the track. Stella didn't come at once, but by the time I reached the edge of the forest, she had caught up with me. She raced out onto the beach, barking at the Peggy Sue, but I stayed where I was hidden in the shadows of the trees and cried out all my tears. I watched the Peggy Sue come sailing in. It was indeed my mother and my father on board. They had seen Stella by now and were calling to her. She was barking her silly head off. I saw the anchor go down. Goodbye, Kensuke, I whispered. I took a deep breath and ran out onto the sand, waving and yelling. I splashed out into the shallows to meet them. My mother just cried and hugged me till I thought I'd break. She kept saying over and over again, Didn't I tell you? We'd find him. Didn't I tell you? The first words my father said were, Hello, monkey face. For almost a year my mother and father had searched for me. No one would help them, for no one would believe I could still be alive. Not a chance in a million, they said. My father, too, he later admitted, had given me up for dead, but never my mother. So far as she was concerned, I was alive. I had to be alive. She simply knew in her heart. So they had sailed from island to island, searching on until they had found me. Not a miracle, just faith. Postscript. 4 years after this book was first published, I received this letter. Dear Michael, I write to tell you, in my bad English, that my name is Mikia Ogawa. I am the son of Dr. Kensuke Ogawa. Until I read your book, I thought my father had died in the war. My mother died only 3 years ago, still believing this. As you say in your book, we lived in Nagasaki, but we were very lucky. Before the bomb fell, we went into the countryside to see my grandmother for a few days. So we lived. I have no memories of my father, only some photographs and your book. It will be a pleasure to talk to someone who knew my father as you did. Maybe one day we could meet. I hope so. With my best wishes, Mikia Ogawa. A month after receiving this letter, I went to Japan and I met Mikia. He laughs just like his father did. So, horse chestnuts, that's the end of the story, and that was Kensuke's Kingdom. What I'd like you to do, please, is to answer the following questions and then email them to me at the address that you can see there. Okay? So go back through the text and carefully answer what does Michael mean by at its core. Check the page right at the start of what we're reading here and see if you can answer that question. Next, what was Michael worried about when the fire first started? You may think you remember straight away, but as I've said, make sure you find the evidence. What was the first sign that it was his mum? So as they were looking out, what clue gave it to be his mum? Give 2 reasons why Kensuke won't leave the island. So just identify 2 of Kensuke's reasons and write them down, please. What 3 things must Michael promise to Kensuke? So Kensuke asks him to do certain things. What are those promises? Who did Michael visit in Japan? Nice clear one there. And finally, now that the story is finished, could you please write a review of what you thought of it? Okay? So that is what I'd like you to do. And then please email me, as I say, your answers. Thank you very much for listening and do take care.